Hey, my beautiful followers, how's everyone doing today? On this beautiful Sunday morning, getting ready to see my clients, have some good conversation, good energy. I have a pretty jam-packed day, but I wanted to jump on here because yesterday I was actually Facebook banned. Yep. I was Facebook banned for 24 hours, and so I am back today. Back to connect with you guys to start the week off. Apparently, Facebook finds me too racy. I don't think I'm that racy. I actually keep things pretty mild. Good morning. Good morning, everybody jumping on. Wow. So, the other day before I got Facebook banned, I had written an article called "They Are Never Coming Back," and it was really driven by several different conversations and experiences, some of my own, some of with clients, with friends, with family. It is this idea that we will ever get ourselves or somebody else back in the way they once were. This idea that we are stagnant and we will always be the same. And this sometimes creates true disconnection, like true breakups, true issues in a relationship, true unalignment. I've just made disalignment, unalignment a thing. So like it becomes this thing where we end up wanting others and ourselves to stay the same or be that past person so much at this level that we do actually create relationship breaks even within ourselves. So it is so often that I get my clients in my office and they want to share about their past, which is pretty normal. We want to, our egos want to bring up what has been in our past, what's going on, what has happened, what we think should happen, yada, 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 how they once were this and now they're not, or how we were once this other person. A couple years ago, I had this period in my own life where I was really super nostalgic for this person I once was, this young, innocent, everything was new and exciting kind of place. And I really had to look at that point in my life and go, you're never going to get that person back. You're never going to get the person who hadn't experienced those things back. You can pull the energies from that, but you will never get that person back. And I really had to sit with myself. And recently I've had so many clients, especially clients that are dealing with trauma or drama or relationship breakups that are going, I wish that things could be like they used to be. And my message to them is they will never be like they used to be. You will never get that person back again. And guess what? You'll never get you back again. Now, well, we like to hear that and go, ugh, that's horrible, but I missed, that was so fun. And we get into this negative energy. Of I've lost so much. We look at it as this massive loss and swirl of negative energy because we feel like we're never going to have that joy, that happiness, that laughter, that connection, whatever it was that you really enjoyed back. That innocence, that excitement within self. People think they're never going to get that back. They go into this land of scarcity, and that is what creates this nostalgia. Instead of going, you know what? I will never be 20 years old again. I am 35 and I will be 35 until I'm 36. And then I'll never get 35 back again. There are people in my world, there are relationships I have, and I will never get the people they were back because they've grown, because they have expanded, because our relationship has changed and developed. And when we try to get those people back, whether that person is ourselves at a younger level, even if it's only a couple days ago, if we try to get those people we once were back, we end up staying stuck. If we even in relationships, if we're trying to get that person back to who they were, we are fighting a losing battle, because they will never be that person. We've all had experiences that have grown us. Particularly this year, I can go like, there has been so much transformation. And to look at somebody and go, well, I want the person you were back then back, we end up restricting our own growth. We end up missing out on the joy. We miss out on that connection in that moment with that person. We miss out on growing with that other person. We end up really, if it's with ourselves, if we're looking and we're going, I want that person I once was back. Well, you can look at, okay, well, what was it that I liked about that person? Oh, I like the joy, I like the enthusiasm. Well, you can get joy and enthusiasm back. You're just not going to get the exact person back. Same thing in relationship. If you're like, I want it to be like when we first met and we're hot and fiery and excited, well, guess what? You aren't going to get that person back because of the experience, but you can find hot, fiery, passion, joy, pleasure in a relationship. But what we end up doing is we focus so much on the rear view mirror. We don't focus on the window in front of us and the beautiful scene all in front of us. We're so busy looking at the past and what was, that we miss out on being present in the moment for all the beauty that is there. What we end up doing is restricting, and we end up doing this graspy energy of like, no, but I want you to be this person you once were. And we do this to ourselves, so we end up pulling all the life out of ourselves, and then we end up pulling the life out of our relationships because we are not willing to love them. Yep, here's your baseball bat. You're not willing to love them as they are. When we try to make somebody who they once were, we are giving a big fuck you to them, and we are not in unconditional love. We are in trying to control them, trying to make them who we want them to be, even if that's not who they are. And when somebody kind of falls back into, okay, I'll be who you once that person you once had, what ends up happening is we find inauthenticity. That is a faking. That is not true, authentic where they are. People end up faking. Now, we can have this is not to say we can't have conversations as a sex and relationship coach. I talk all the time about, okay, well, how do we get some of that energy back? But to go, I wish you were the same person before we went through these traumas, before we went through these fights, before we went through this situation. That is looking at things in a negative light. So I want today to really, really push home to start looking at the opportunities, particularly with self. Because if it doesn't start with self, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter your relationships. If you are looking at yourself and going, oh, I wish. I just had a Dr. Seuss book. Like, I wish on a fish. Anyway, sorry. Random Addison moments. This is why you watch Addison Unleashed, because I'm a little random sometimes. But if you're just in this wishing of, I wish I was that person I was back then, and you cannot see the beauty of where you are right now, and the lessons you're learning, and the growth you're having, and the pushing forward into the higher vibes, the more expansion. If you cannot appreciate that right now, then you're not going to be able to appreciate your relationships. You're not going to be able to love your relationships at that level either. So it always starts with self. But it is looking at ourselves and our relationships for who that person is today. Because you're never getting them back. You're never getting the person back that you had today. It will not be the person you have tomorrow. Whether that's with you, whether that's somebody else, those people will never be there again. So appreciating who we have in our lives right this moment, really soaking it in, and getting out of the scarcity of this, like if I don't keep you like this, if I don't try to push you into this this container, this cage, then I'm going to lose you. Then I'm going to lose all the joy. Well, guess what? If that is your mindset, you will. You will lose that person. You will lose yourself. You will lose your alignment. So my message today is to really look at where you're not leaning into your blessings, where you're not letting people in your life grow, where you're not letting yourself grow, where you are sticking your feet in the mud and looking behind you instead of going, I'm not going to be that person. And you know what? That's a blessing, because that person back then didn't know this, whatever it is. I can look back, and like I said, a couple years ago, I was looking at who I was, and I had some nostalgic moments, and I remember looking at myself at like 25, and I was like, oh, I was so sweet and so innocent, and like there was so much different in my life. And I was looking at it in a romanticized kind of way of like, oh my God, but like everything was new, and I was doing this, and I was really stepping into my tantric work, and everything was so exciting at that point in my life. It was like exhilaration constantly. And I remember a couple of years ago looking at that going, where is that person? My laundry's done. Where is that person? And like, I want that person back. And I had to sit with self, and I went, no, I actually don't want that person back, because that person didn't have all this beautiful experience, didn't have all these beautiful relationships, yes, there was this excitement that had happened, but at the same time, there was all this ego, all this negativity in my world. I was super unhealthy in a lot of ways, and I was not the person I am today, and I would not give anything back for that person that was 25. Now I am so thankful for that person. But I was looking at, I want the exhilaration back. So I went and I found things that exhilarated me, that pulled that energy into my then, but at a level where I was, and not from the past level. And so my suggestion is to really look at where can you pull in some of those energies, but necessarily not try to create what you once had in somebody. Not try to lock somebody into who they once were, or yourself. So I feel like you got the message. I feel like the message was received today. Thank you everybody who jumped on. I love all the love heart showers and comments. Hello to everyone who wished me a good morning. Good morning to you on this Christmas week. I can't believe it's Christmas week already. So on a side note, I still have a couple more slots for one-on-one clients, but again, I really actually am like almost at my breaking point with clients. So I almost, I think I have like 1 or 2 more slots, and then I am filled up for the beginning of January. But if you want one of those 2 slots in my one-on-one coaching, either that video or in person, then reach out to me at addisonbell.net. I have some amazing events coming up. I know Kendall Williams has an event the very beginning of January coming up, the Quantum Field Tantra, which it's an amazing event. I'm her model. I love this workshop, but it is so amazing. And then I have the Tantric Reboot, which is a butt kicker. It is not sexually focused. It is about you getting into your energy. It is about you stepping into your 2021. It is tools and tricks and ways for you to really start your year off on a good foot, really looking at everything in your life and pulling all the beautiful energies together as you move through your year. So again, find that at addisonbell.net. Other than that, go and have a beautiful day. Grab the fire within, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Addison Unleashed. Love you. Bye.